I've got social anxiety, been in a shotgun marriage for 3 years and never dared to meet my CEO husband even once. Seeing him again, I was chasing a handsome guy in a bar, trying to get his contact info. You know, I never had a husband since I was a kid. The man suddenly let out a cold laugh. So, did I get my marriage certificate with a dog? The familiar tone sent a shiver down my spine. Upon closer inspection, turns out my not-so-friendly husband, who was on an overseas assignment for 3 years, might be back. My best friend got dumped yet again. She was crying her heart out in the bar. Heaven please bless me with a boyfriend. I can't stand the pain of heartbreak anymore. After saying that, she pointed towards a tall-legged guy sitting in the shadows not far away, begging me, "What about that guy? Could you help me get his contact info?" I yawned, refusing her request, because I have morals. After all, I'm married. Even if I haven't seen my husband since our wedding day. My friends stared at me, no cute guys, and I might just get back with my ex. A few minutes later, holding my friend's phone, I approached the guy with a smile, tapping him on the back. He turned around. His profile was sharp in the dim bar lights. "Hey, handsome, can I get your Instagram?" I asked sweetly. He glanced down at me, his eyes behind gold-rimmed glasses were hard to read. My best friend's taste was spot on. This dude seemed like a mature, composed guy. His entire vibe didn't fit in the chaotic setting. Ever since he came in, he just sat in the corner, occasionally speaking to the person next to him with elegance. Most importantly, he had the kind of face that screamed future generations aplenty seemed very capable. "Sorry, I don't have Instagram." He rejected me flat out. His expression was elusive, like morning mist, making him hard to figure out. There were some low chuckles around us. "Evan, why so harsh?" I was just trying to score some good grub for my bestie. So I raised the phone higher, looking cute, I never had a husband since I was a kid. Cut me some slack. The man squinted, watching my attempt to play the pity card without reacting. I got a bit nervous. This trick always works on others, why not on him? Suddenly, a glare caught my eye. The cufflinks were priceless. Spring limited edition of some famous brand. I had auctioned them off at a high price months before, sending them to Europe. A token to stay in touch with my cheap husband. Letting him know I'm fine not visiting him because of my anxiety. Yet now, here they were, neatly pinned to this man's suit. Seemed familiar. A sinking feeling hit me. "Evan?" Everyone around us burst into laughter. "Evan, didn't you say your wife has social anxiety? She seems pretty lively." The lighting mixed with shadows carved a grim look on Evan's profile. I turned to bolt. Halfway, someone grabbed the back of my collar and yanked me back. His voice held a chilling calm as he said, "Joan, never had a husband? So did I get my marriage certificate with a dog?" I was pulled into the center of their group. I realized they were there for a business meeting. "Do all you with social anxiety like playing around here?" Evan took the time to focus on me. I shook my head like a rattle. "No, it's my first time ever here." What if Evan realized I'd been living it up here on his card? Would he kill me? "Miss Joan, we meet again. Where's your boyfriend from last time?" Out of nowhere the bar owner patted my shoulder as if we were friends. I flinched, pointing nervously, Don't say random stuff." The bar owner realized something and quickly covered his mouth. Evan suddenly chuckled, placing a stack of cash on the table. "Whatever else she's spent, tell me?" The owner grinned widely. "Oh, just a few times hiring male models." "Oh," Evan smirked casually, "models are more fitting for those with social anxiety." Traitor. On the way back, Evan ignored me completely. He sat in the car, editing contracts on his tablet. Beside him, I was chattering, "That model? It was my friend who picked him. The guy in question, that's her brother. He's a decent-looking guy who calls me sister." Evan kept his head down, his expression unreadable. His long fingers tapped on the laptop, creating a rhythm that felt like doom, making me uneasy. Panicked, I grabbed my phone to seek help. Only to find our friend group's chat had blown up. Dozens of voice messages cluttered the screen. I bit my lip, pressing the phone to my ear. I bet a penny, Joan will get that Instagram. She even said this guy looks like he could father a whole bunch, an easy shot for twins in a night. Just as I was thinking of correcting them about the mistaken identity, I sensed a weird vibe in the car. Evan stared at me with a blank face, thin lips pressed tight, rage almost slipping through. The loud plotting I did half an hour ago was now being broadcasted word for word through the phone speaker. This man is so hot, gift him to us. Leave the dad out and keep the son, how about that? The driver silently raised the partition. In the cramped dark space, Evan set aside his tablet. Generations aplenty? Leave the dad out, keep the son? Evan coolly repeated my words. Joan, such a good fortune, how can you not want it? I shuddered, nearly shrinking into the door. I'm not healthy enough for this. Evan took off his glasses, leaning back with a deep sigh. Just when I thought his age had mellowed him out. He unfastened his buttons, yanking me over onto his lap. With a cold grin he ordered. Skirt off. Say one word to the contrary, and I swear I'll kill you. The car stopped at the Smiths' mansion. The villa was lit up in the middle of the night. Following Evan, I climbed out of the car. Styled as quite the modest housewife. Mini skirt and black stockings had been tossed carelessly in Evan's car. He glanced at me, lightly noting, button up your shirt. Thought he was going to go full beast mode earlier. Turned out, he just brought me back for a family dinner. Once we opened the door, there stood a girl in a cream-colored spaghetti strap dress. Hey Evan, you're back. Evan's stepmom smiled, explaining, Ruby insisted on seeing you after she heard you came back. Ruby is Evan's stepmom's friend's daughter, before she married into the family. I get along well with the Smiths elders. Rumor has it they were really supportive of Evan and Ruby's relationship. Then Ruby went to Europe to study literature, and it kind of fizzled out. But some say Evan headed to Europe right after our wedding just to try to win her back. Could she be back here with him now? Evan's stepmom smiled and pulled out a chair. Come, little Ruby, let your Evan sit next to you. As Evan was about to call me over, I was already zoned out, eyes on the food, drifting over like a hungry ghost. Is there anything to eat? I'm starving. And then I plopped down next to Ruby. The only seat left was right across from me and Ruby. Evan's stepmom seemed a bit awkward and had Evan sit beside her. During the meal, I sat across from Evan, devouring my food. Meanwhile, the elders were showering Ruby with praises about her achievements. Little Ruby, are you staying here now that you're back? Yeah, she replied, her eyes shyly glancing at Evan. Evan kept his head down, eating, and occasionally chatting with his dad about business. As if he hadn't heard anything. While talking, he nonchalantly swapped my favorite little cake in front of Ruby and replaced it with a plate of stir-fried veggies for me. The room fell silent, except for the clatter of plates and cups. Just as I was about to curse, my fork slipped and fell to the floor. I bent down, catching sight of Ruby's bare foot sneaking towards Evan's suit pants. Oh, some sneaky stuff happening right under my nose. Provoking me? I got up, took a deep breath, and suddenly rubbed my foot against Evan's leg. Clatter. Evan's chopsticks dropped right onto the plate. We weren't exactly close, so it was a bit abrupt. But who cares? Evan, what's up? Faced with my mischievous inquiry, Evan cleared his throat, keeping his usual cool, nothing. I grinned and took a bite of bread, persistently rubbing my foot. Evan's expression stiffened, glancing at me. Joan, are you done eating? Nope, I blinked, taking a breather. Ruby's foot was frantically rubbing my leg in confusion, wondering why Evan wasn't reacting. I chuckled, matching Ruby's every move from then on. Evan's handsome face grew darker. Finally, he trapped my foot between his legs, and I couldn't get it out. Now it was my turn to panic. I stared at him in shock. Joan, why aren't you eating? Evan asked, clearly amused. Did something happen? No, I gritted my teeth, managing a smile. The hidden foot became relentless. Evan's hand revealed tense veins. Can't you behave? Seeing me smile broadly, Evan suddenly released my foot and stood up. I'm done, enjoy your meal. Under everyone's watchful eyes, he hurried upstairs. Ruby quickly put down her chopsticks and followed, fluttering after Evan like a butterfly. Evan, I have something for you. I lay in my room, sarcastically gossiping with my girlfriends. If he's so into her, why marry me? My girlfriends chimed in. I think he's flaunting, showing off his charm, hinting he could win over many girls with his trick. He's not losing anything with this open marriage. He wants respect. I leaped off the bed. So what do I do? Flirt with him. My girlfriends advised, get him to fall for you, then dump him hard. A few minutes later, I slowly approached the study. Gently, I pushed the door just a smidge open. Dim light spilled out. Evan was at his computer, seemingly in a meeting. The glow from the screen highlighted his sharply defined features, while the rolled-up sleeves of his white shirt and glasses gave him a disheveled but scholarly look. My girlfriend's chatter buzzed in my earphones. Joan, don't be afraid, wear Evan's shirt and go for it. I glanced down at the white shirt I'd tied to hug my waist, turning it into a curve-hugging number. My long legs were out there, feeling chilly. If I can't charm him now, I'm done for. Resolutely, I shoved the door open. The door hit the wall with a heavy thud, drawing his attention. Evan's gaze lingered on my outfit, his eyes slightly darkening. Joan, something you need? I skipped the pretense, cleared my throat, and boldly walked in, heading straight to his desk. I subtly scanned the room. Evan casually leaned back in his chair, his gentle gaze carrying hints of appraisal. Trying to provoke me? I hopped onto his desk, playfully placing a foot on his thigh. Evan, can we talk about something? I asked with a smile. Evan's gaze skimmed over my toe, calmly responding, sure, what's up? Since we don't really know each other well, I think there's no need to get to know each other better. Let's just do our own thing. The room fell silent. Evan's expression didn't change, his voice incredibly soft. What did you just say? I raised my voice, worried he didn't hear. I said, let's do our own thing. The next moment, someone pushed the door open from behind. Evan, about tomorrow's board meeting. John's voice faltered. Evan swiftly pulled me onto his lap. His broad hands held my waist firmly, the desk perfectly hiding my lower half from view. Dad, what brings you here? The sudden quiet made the situation terribly awkward. My mind went blank from shock, seeking an escape. Don't expect me to explain. My social anxiety prevents that. John cleared his throat, looking slightly flustered. There's something I need from you. It seems now isn't a good time. Evan kept me in his lap, catching sight of my flushed ears, a hint of amusement in his eyes. Dad, I called her here. He took responsibility. John absently scratched his head. Young folks are spirited, but watch the timing. Joan's a young lady, don't tire her out. Yes, Evan listened obediently, won't happen next time. John left quickly. The room was silent again. Evan's body heat was burning through his shirt, every bit of it reaching me. This position felt a bit too suggestive. Especially with how it felt below, I didn't dare to move. After a while, I heard a teasing voice from above. If you like wearing it, next time I'll get a smaller size for you? Seriously? Is it fun to mess with me like this? Covering my face, I fled in embarrassment at his laughter. The next day, I escaped back to my apartment in the city. But Evan's secretary was right on my tail. He put my clothes into the master bedroom, smiling. Evan bought some small shirts, he said you'd know what to do with them. Blushing again, I stuffed them all under the bed. Today, I had a book signing event to attend. 3 years ago, on a whim influenced by online friends, I posted a short story online. That started my writing journey, and now I've written over 6 million words. There's a secret Evan can't know. I once wrote a novel using our names, and it's still on the bestseller list. If you search Evan online, it's not just his biography that comes up. There's news of him being voted the most attractive male lead. Who knew a simple write-up would get him on the list? Luckily, Evan doesn't follow this stuff. Odds are, he'd never know. The book signing was downtown, pretty packed with fans. Besides signing, there was time scheduled for fan interaction. As Evan led a business tour by, a fan eagerly asked, "When's Evan's book coming out?" Smiling, I replied, "Currently editing it, when the time's right." Just my luck, I looked up and saw Evan, all suited up, on the second floor, watching me intently. From afar, it seemed like he raised an eyebrow. My heart skipped a beat. I might not keep this under wraps much longer. Fans even brought fan art and fanfics of Evan and requested me to showcase and read them out loud. Evan stayed right there, listening to the entire segment. Once it wrapped up, I dashed out. On my way home, my agent Tina messaged. "You've been exposed." Exposed for what? "Ruby's fans claim your book, Stand and Wife, plagiarized her, Mr. Sweet." Stand and Wife is the one starring Evan and me. This just added to my headache. Ruby's a recent star in the web novel world. When the market was sluggish, she rose to the top by stitching together bits of others' work. Recently, she slipped Evan's character into her book, even lifting a few key scenes. Before I could defend my work, her fans believed the worst. They ignored the timeline and accused me of copying using skewed comparisons. Tina sneered, "Bet her fans are freaking her out now." I felt myself shut down. Tina nudged me, "Don't be mad, this could work for us." Looking at the trending topic, I felt dizzy. Why does it have to blow up like this, at this time? Can I still keep my secret? With Evan onto me, I hid out at a cafe near home, too scared to go back. Suddenly, I heard a familiar voice. Oh no, I wouldn't dare compare to the veterans. I turned and spotted Ruby with some girls. One girl, awestruck, said, "Ruby, I think you're way better than Joan." "Keep going." Ruby replied cheerily, "This book's getting published soon. I'll send you a copy." "Awesome, thanks." I walked over with my coffee. "So you're Ruby?" The girl looked displeased. "Who are you?" I smiled, "I'm Joan." The fans backed off, making room for me to sit across from Ruby. Ruby smiled, "Sorry, my fans might have offended you. Hope you don't mind. I know you posted first, but I never read your work," she chuckled, "and I think some parts are a bit embarrassing to show adults." I retorted, "Then explain why our male lead's backstory, family, and setting details are identical." Ruby paused. "Just because you use him for inspiration, doesn't mean others can't." I remembered Ruby's heroine studied in Europe, pining for the hero, and made it big after returning. I lost the will to chat, but before leaving, I told her, "Ruby, me and Evan divorcing isn't set in stone. Don't dream too big." Ruby's face turned white, speechless. Back at home, I locked myself in the study. Opened both works, laying out the timelines. As I saw how my text was interwoven into hers, with readers commenting enthusiastically, I felt crushed. It got late. Evan walked in, finding me staring at the screen, eyes red, muttering under my breath about plagiarists deserving the worst. He flipped on the lights. "Joan, what's up?" Embarrassed, I tried to close the laptop, but he stopped me. "Don't panic, just because you wrote me into a book. No need to lose sleep over it." He hadn't tattled to my parents. Before marriage, my mom warned me, "Don't be reckless." Evan could ensure a secure life. But come on, I'm my own person with my hobbies. Still clutching my laptop, I'm being smeared. Evan paused. "By whom?" Minutes later, Evan sat at the computer, pondering over countless comparisons. Many parts marked in red, just missing a label saying he's the lead. Like a reprimanded student, I sat beside him, sneaking glances. His glasses reflected the intense pages of comments. Even I think it's a bit wasteful to have someone who's used to reading business contracts read romance novels. For a moment, Evan gently took off his glasses and pinched the bridge of his nose with his eyes closed. I hesitantly suggested, how about I just do it myself? It's fine, Evan replied, eyes now open, with a hint of irony in his voice. I can handle it. Clearly, he couldn't handle the latter part. Evan's eyes turned red as he held Joan's waist and whispered for more intensity. Joan chuckled softly, aren't you always complaining about me being flirtatious? Now you're asking for more? Evan turned the tables, speaking to a startled Joan. Counting on you is not as reliable as counting on myself. The study fell into silence. I awkwardly pointed to Ruby's text. Can you highlight, a little more, in yellow? She copied it. Evan controlled the cursor smoothly and asked, you like it rough? It's all right, I replied. While I was organizing the timeline, online discussions started taking off. People questioned why Joan would be accused of plagiarism when she posted earlier than Ruby. Rumors circulated that Joan revised her work to match Ruby's later on. Pictures and evidence appeared. Ruby's fans fabricated images that were being shared non-stop. There wasn't even time to debunk them. The worst part? Ruby posted a status update. My baseline is originality. The story is based on my real-life experience, and the male lead has a real-life counterpart. Soon enough, Evan's real identity was uncovered. People were shocked. Oh my God, Joan is disgusting. Not only did she copy, but she's also living in a fantasy. A classmate mentioned that Ruby and Evan went to the same high school but separated after graduation. So, Ruby is the true female lead in Evan's real life. Joan, you're nothing but a thief. I was about to post our marriage certificate to defend myself when I discovered my account was muted by the system. Tina angrily exclaimed over the phone, those people are playing so dirty. They reported you in large numbers, your account got suspended because it's not very active. Now it can't be dealt with until after the weekend. How do we find a high-profile account to clarify on short notice? I watched helplessly as I trended. People called me names, ridiculing me as someone who's always dreaming. Even worse, it spiraled into Evan's Facebook. Comments flooded with excerpts of my writing. I heard Evan's legal team is pretty tough. Joan's fantasizing about you, aren't you going to sue her? Caused you trouble, aren't you going to explain? What's Ruby to you? Your first crush? This got the parents involved real quick. My dad called immediately, why are you writing nonsense? I'm not, it's just. He cut me off, a proper girl doesn't post garbage online. Your in-laws have already phoned me. Go talk to Evan, get this sorted out. With that, he hung up furiously. Our family's traditional. My parents were busy with business while growing up. They only wanted me to study well and behave. No one cared what I liked. What I wanted to do in the future. They switched my first choice to economics instead of literature for college. I thought marriage meant independence, change. I went to Evan's company. He must have just wrapped up an important meeting, stepping out of the conference room. Business reporters crowded him, and amid them sneaked a gossip columnist, shoving a phone in Evan's face. Evan, what's your take on being fictionalized in a cheesy romance novel? Will your legal team demand compensation? Evan paused mid-sentence. His phone screen filled with thousands of comments ridiculing me. He skimmed it, then looked straight at the reporter. Security, escort this gentleman out. And then he noticed me standing at the doorway, looking crestfallen. Evan removed the microphone from his tie. Excuse me, he said. He cut through the crowd, came up to me, and naturally took my hand. Sorry, something back home. I gotta go, he told his companions impatiently. With his hand in mine, Evan led me smoothly into his office. Near sunset, the blinds split the setting sun into strips of warm yellow light. Evan sat me down by the couch and returned with a glass of warm water. For this, just call me okay? He said. What? I asked, confused. He pulled out his phone, scrolling for something. Minutes later, my phone buzzed. A notification. Just now, Evan publicly tagged me with his account, simply writing, "Married." Such a brief yet powerful statement, pinned above company updates and news, quickly set the internet abuzz. Whoa, plot twist. Turns out Evan and Joan are the real deal. This guy, a man of action, not words. Totally a protective husband. My fans were moved to tears, all tagging Ruby and demanding an apology. Fawning over a married man, shameless much? Ruby didn't respond. Evan calmly picked up his jacket and asked, "What do you feel like for dinner?" "You're going home?" Evan chuckled, "I'm married, where else would I go?" Oh. Evan drove us home through evening traffic. I was a bit restless in the passenger seat because my dad was calling Evan. The call was on speaker. "Evan, apologies for not raising her better." Evan gazed ahead at the traffic, tapping his finger lightly on the steering wheel. "No big deal. Her happiness matters most." The glorious sunset shattered like fireworks, lighting up his face and body. His rich voice cut through the noisy city, oddly soothing my anxious heart. I stared at Evan, speechless. A smile played on his lips as he said, "Fascinating things disappearing for lack of support would be a shame." My dad sighed, "The internet's complex. She's inexperienced. If not for you. Rest assured, I've got it covered." A rush of emotions stirred inside me. Before they could fully blossom, they vanished. Wait. Fascinating things? After the call ended, I hesitantly asked, "My stories, did you?" Evan calmly finished for me, "Read them." "All of them." I shivered a bit. Then he added, "It's pretty good, really." "I'm pushing for more, miss." I quietly shrank into a corner and pulled out my phone. "Ladies, code red." That night, my friend's group chat exploded. "Dear God, why does he like reading your stuff? If he reads the steamy scenes, won't he?" Under the covers, I thought, don't ask me, I don't want to know. For us writers, our online personas are like our lifeline. Now my pen name got exposed. And the main man knows. Basically, I'm dead meat. A buddy whispered a suggestion, "Why don't you just go for it? I mean, you two are married. Something happening is normal, right?" I took a shower, lay in bed, and pondered. As usual, Evan would be sleeping in the study tonight. But really, can't something kinda happen? I jumped up, deciding to have a chat with him. The study has this big floor-to-ceiling window. The neon lights glow all night. When I opened the door, only a dim lamp was on. Evan sat at the computer. The silent mouse wheel made a barely noticeable whir. Evan looked up, glasses resting low on his nose, looking all relaxed. "Not asleep yet?" His voice was soft, a bit hoarse. I hesitated at the door. "Neither are you." He watched me, expression unreadable. Yet, his gaze was a bit intense. Nervously, my palms started sweating. "I just wanted to thank you." "Well, come in and thank me." Originally, I planned to thank him quickly and duck back to the bedroom. Now I ran out of excuses. The neon light cast on Evan, outlining his graceful figure. I stepped in, standing a bit away from him. Evan took off his glasses, closing his eyes for a moment. "Joan, how do you want to thank me?" I paused, remembering what my friend said. Don't even know where the courage came from, but I dropped the bathrobe, revealing Evan's smaller-sized shirt. Just like this. They called it a tried-and-true method. But I felt it was more like a desperate move. I'm really bad at flirting. Evan's gaze lingered over my outfit, and he chuckled. "Joan, is this your only trick?" Was he mocking me? My face was on fire. So embarrassing. I wanted to run back to the bedroom and hide. No more advice from the brainless squad. I should go. Before I could finish, Evan pulled me into his arms. The next moment, his fiery kiss landed on my ear. I was a sucker for this. Throwing myself at him like this, it's not against the rules, right? That's when I noticed what was on Evan's computer. My unreleased scenes showed up on his screen. I panicked immediately. Why? Why are you reading this? I'm a reader too. Why can't I read it? His raspy voice colored with the night, stirring sensitive nerves. His arm wrapped around my waist, shirt bunching up. The air felt different, heated and restless. Evan, what do you want to do? You. His laughter flowed in the darkness. Miss, look up, watch the screen. However you write it, I'll do it the same way, alright? Later that night, I fainted just thinking about how smug he'd be if he knew. The next day, Evan had his legal team handle the plagiarism case. I sat surrounded at the conference table, facing color-coded charts, everyone silent. Sorry, I didn't mean for them to spin in circles. Evan remained calm. Let's wrap this up quick. Within days, The Substitute Bride trended again. But this time, people read it like non-fiction. Wow, does Evan really tie wrists like that? No wonder he's the top guy on the list. Quite bold. Author, please update more. We want to know what you two usually get up to. A few days after signing the papers, Ruby got a lawyer's letter. For plagiarism, I sued her in court. A bunch of potential film deals for her books got put on hold. A week later, while on my way to a meeting, I bumped into Ruby outside a publisher's office. Her papers scattered everywhere. On top was one signed with Ruby's pen name. Ignoring her, I walked away. Ruby called me from behind. I confess, he helped you a lot. But if he knew it was me you're suing, what do you think he'd do? Facing my confusion, Ruby whipped out her phone and called Evan. The moment it connected, she started crying pitifully. Evan, I never told you. I'm Ruby, the book's all true. I've had a crush on you for so long. Can you not sue me? I had no clue what Evan said. After hanging up, Ruby forced a smile at me. Crazy. I rolled my eyes, ignored her. After the meeting, I instinctively checked my phone. Clicked on Evan's profile. The previous announcement about our marriage was gone. Even the law firm's letter vanished. This was quite the talk of the town, so as soon as it was deleted, folks started a new thread. What's going on? Problems between the two of them? I said it was all just for publicity. Based on the books, Ruby and Evan were first loves. She went abroad for school, and Evan settled for our arranged marriage. The recent announcement was to make her compromise. Dude, you've been reading too many romance novels. Art imitates life. I exited the app and called Evan. His secretary picked up. Ms. Joan, Evan just left in a hurry, forgot his phone. Is there a message I can pass on? No need. Calmly, I pocketed my phone. Walked a few steps, then suddenly turned and grabbed a cab straight to Evan's office. Seeing my resolve, they didn't dare stop me. I made it straight to Evan's office. Hand me the phone. The secretary handed it over like a hot potato. So, I got my phone and tried several passwords, including Evan's birthday and mine, but nothing worked. I gave up and handed the phone back to my assistant. Giving me a perplexed look, I shot a text to my manager, Tina. Wasn't I supposed to be heading out of town for an event? Gotta go now. Later that night, I was hanging out with Tina by the pool at a 5-star hotel. She eyed a cute guy on the shore and made a clicking sound with her tongue. You're just running away. Didn't you say you guys would talk it out if you had conflicts? I sipped my cocktail, feeling exhausted, and leaned on the rock. I just can't bring myself to do it. I went charging into Evan's office to ask him face to face, but he wasn't there. It was like punching cotton. Then, once I cooled down, I couldn't muster up the courage anymore. Tina smirked. You just don't want to admit you like him, right? I mumbled, what if he really did delete that status for Ruby? Wouldn't asking him about it be super embarrassing? I'd rather be carefree right now. As long as I don't admit it, I'm not the embarrassed one. Tina's expression turned a bit complicated. But haven't you two already hooked up? Why still debate this? Feeling a bit wronged, the alcohol went to my head, and I splashed the water, shouting, "We're just hookups." Hookups. Just like with that guy. I gestured toward a guy playing in the water not far away, fuming. Sleeping with Evan is no different than sleeping with any random dude. Tina went silent. Or rather, she slowly shifted her gaze to somewhere behind me. It felt like I was suddenly in someone's shadow. I looked up, and there was that familiar, slightly gentle, yet alluring face. Evan, in a sharp suit, looking all worn out, as if he didn't even have time to change his coat, was standing on the shore behind me. His smile was chilling. Oh. So sleeping with me is no different than him? Evan dragged me away, looking expressionless. Tina gave me a good luck look and quietly dove into the water. Once we got to the room, Evan threw me onto the bed. He started silently pulling off his tie, taking off his jacket. While I was still struggling, he tied me up firmly with his tie. Drunk as I was, I lay there letting him do as he pleased. "Joan, can't you learn?" Evan teasingly bit my ear, gently caressing. "Learn what?" I mumbled. Coolly, Evan asked, "Didn't I tell you my phone password was our anniversary date?" I was dizzy from the collision, and everything started to blur. What anniversary? What password? Suddenly, a phone was shoved into my hand. Evan got up, caught his breath, gently tapped my lower back, and commanded, "Enter the password. If it's wrong, we aren't sleeping tonight." That's when I realized it was Evan's phone. Cold sweat broke out on my back instantly. Crap. The anniversary date. He might have mentioned it. But when? Evan seemed to see how stuck I was and chuckled softly, like delivering a death sentence. Gritting my teeth, I shakily entered the password. Click. The phone unlocked successfully. My legs went weak as I saw a notification from earlier that morning. This content's comments section violates community standards and has been temporarily blocked. Please review the comments and appeal later. Evan sighed with disappointment. If only you'd remembered our anniversary or waited for me to get back, you wouldn't have said such nonsense tonight. Shaking, I opened the comments section. Almost tripped over my own feet. I didn't think our competitor would play dirty. They rallied ghostwriters in the comments section with inappropriate content. That resulted in Evans and the lawyer's post getting locked in a black hole. Naturally, the marriage announcement was also hidden. But Ruby called you right in front of me. And you left. I thought. Mentioning Ruby, Evans spoke flatly. The assistant told me this morning he got a call from a woman, babbling and crying so much he couldn't understand a word. I said stubbornly, "That was Ruby." "Oh." Evans' voice cooled. "Go complain to a lawyer, why come to me? Just block you right away." I tried to appease him by quickly scrolling through the call log, and found the heartless entry, "Delivering docs for Evan." I asked, "Is this it?" Evan didn't even look. "Don't remember." Comparing with my phone, it actually was Ruby's number. Evan turned off the lights, leaving only a bedside lamp on. "Joan, let's revisit our earlier topic. What about hookups? Am I only satisfying on the bed?" Covering my chest, I said, "It hurts right here." Evan chuckled angrily. "I'm labeled a hookup, and I should be the one in pain. Why are you hurting? Can't move on?" I racked my brain and suddenly turned it around. It's not entirely unreasonable for misunderstandings. You were offering her desserts at the dining table. When did I do that? Last family dinner. Evan thought for a moment. You mean when I swapped your okra? I crossed my arms. I don't recall what dish it was. I don't even like vegetables. Evan fell silent. After a while, he flipped me over, facing the window. In a gentle tone, he said, "Hush, I'm afraid you'll anger me to death, dying young." "Hey, spell it out." Evan held me from behind and pinched my jaw. In the dim window reflection, I saw my dazed eyes. Something flashed across my mind. One New Year's, Evan was overseas and couldn't come back. He called me in advance. "I've got some friends heading back. The desserts here are pretty good, they could bring some over." What did I say back then? "Thanks, but I'm not into sweets." "Do you have okra?" Evan had paused. "Not convenient to bring over, but I'll have someone nearby send some." That casual reply was something Evan remembered. Evan scoffed. "Joan, I specially put that okra in front of you, and that's how you remember me?" Hunching subconsciously to escape, I was tightly held and lectured all night. By dawn, Evan had just finished the last line of his phone's memo. "Last year, you said you didn't like stuffed animals, right?" I weakly said, "I do. Lies should be punished, don't you think?" "Yeah. Let's begin." The next day, I was awoken by a frantic knocking on my door. Tina burst in. "The author conference is about to start, and you're still sleeping?" I stumbled to the door, blushing. Evan casually poured me some milk as Tina stopped mid-sentence and smirked. "Oh, I get it, I won't rush you. Will you be coming with us, Evan?" "Me?" Evan chuckled. "Probably not a good idea." I grabbed a piece of bread from the table, gave Evan a quick kiss, and said, "I'm off." Evan had some business here for a few days and would return with me after the event. The moment I arrived at the event, it caused quite the stir. Joan and Ruby showed up simultaneously. This would be interesting. Sure enough, just a few steps away, I saw Ruby surrounded by fans, soaking up the attention. The event hadn't even started, and she was already interacting with the live stream audience. Not plagiarism, there's nothing of the sort. Publishing and film rights are all going smoothly. Won't be affected at all. I shot a questioning look at Tina. She seemed a bit sheepish. "Joan, you know, after that drama, the fan wars just got fiercer. The investors saw the hype growing, so they bought in. These days, if it makes money, who's concerned if it's plagiarism? Even the lowest thief, once famous, will have defenders." I took a deep breath. "So, she plagiarized, and that's that?" Tina pulled me to sit down. "Hold up, Evan's legal team is top-notch. What if we win? But lawsuits aren't resolved overnight. By the time we win, the plagiarist will have made their money, and a measly fine means nothing to them." The event organizers, almost for fun, purposely seated Ruby and me together. We exchanged glances. She smiled warmly. "Recently, I had my fortune told. They said my luck's turning." "Well, look at that, it's happening, isn't it?" I murmured, "Whether it's publishing or film adaptation, if you manage either, then I've lost." "Why?" I rested my chin on my hand, blinking. "Because I have money." "Money doesn't mean everything." Ruby huffed beside me, hugging a pillow while greeting readers. I joined in, waving and mumbling softly, "Actually, money is everything." By the end of the conference, we hadn't given the crowd the dramatic showdown they wanted. Instead, a picture of us enjoying each other's company went viral. Everyone was speculating. What's going on? Did they make up? Maybe all smiles on the surface, but stabbing each other in the back. But Ruby's got guts challenging Joan, considering Joan's backed by Evan, real capital after all. "Hey, our Joan is pretty awesome too, you know." After the event, I got into the car and called Evan while massaging my aching ankle. "Is it over?" He answered immediately amidst a noisy background. "Where are you?" "At a business gala." I thought for a moment, is the Entertainment boss there? Evan seemed to look around before replying, "He is." That was a lucky guess. "Great, hold on, I'm coming over." Tina rolled up her sleeves, pulling out a thick document. "Time to work, let's mess up her plans." The gala was bustling. Evan noticed me instantly. His gaze paused on my waist-hugging, sparkling gold dress. I walked to him, naturally taking his arm. "Where?" Evan glanced across. "There." Entertainment's boss, Sean, sat with a drink, staring darkly at a girl nearby. I went over, blocking his view. Got a minute? Sean asked, looking away. I plopped a massive dossier in front of him. Mr. Sean, I'm here to discuss a collaboration. He skimmed the book titles, chuckling. Sorry, I'm not interested in your petty drama. Besides, this book caught marketing's eye, meaning it has market value. No reason to reject it. I know plagiarism doesn't bother you, but what if the author is a problem? Sean squinted. What do you mean? I grinned. Mr. Sean, Ruby privately claimed she modeled this book's character after my husband. I printed out chat screenshots from a fan who went undercover. Ruby had openly confessed this in a group of 500 fans. In one scene, the female lead, a minor, is involved with the male lead. I believe this damages my husband's reputation, and I plan to take action. Sean thought for a moment. We have writers who can revise it. You suing the author doesn't concern us. I blinked. True. But we're facing 2 lawsuits this year. Drag it out, and it'll last 1-2 years. Every few months, I'll put her on blast with new plagiarism evidence. Your screenwriters will love rewriting the script over 2 years before filming. By the time it's released, it'll be 4 years later. Your company's rich, no big deal. Sean laughed. You really want to disrupt this, huh? I shrugged. Gotta get back at them somehow. Sean finally relented. It's just a film. If it's too hassle-ridden, best avoid it. The publisher caved easily too. Tina dropped a hint in the industry, and they cancelled the deal immediately. With Sean gone, no other investors dared risk it. Evan came over as I was happily drinking in the corner. I was tipsy by then. On the ride back to the hotel, I brazenly rested on Evan's lap, scrolling through Sean's Twitter. That girl looks familiar. Oh right. It's Ruby. It seems like she was engaged to someone else before, but judging by the looks of it, Sean swooped in and stole her heart. I'm sipping on the gossip happily, but Evan is watching me. I lean clumsily on his shoulder, chuckling. Can you find out for me? I'm itching with curiosity. Evan chuckles. What if I can't find out now? I grab his hand and press it to my chest, then scratch for me. Evan gently turns off the nearby tablet. The room goes dark. His agile fingers move along my waist, slowly upward. Still itchy? I squirm and nuzzle into him. More. Evan's voice is husky. This shirt's been on long enough. But I just put it on. Evan doesn't bother with extra words. No talking for drunks. I never did find out the gossip about Sean. A few days later, Ruby's work lost its commercial value, tangled in a plagiarism scandal, and the site blocked her work. A bunch of people were gossiping underneath. So it was really plagiarism, huh? Arguing without admitting it. Ruby's fans, coming to take hits. Are you just mindless loyal dogs? Ruby deleted her ambiguous post but never apologized. One day, when Evan and I went back to the Smiths for dinner, his stepmom lamented, Ruby grew up with you. Aren't you being too heartless? Evan frowned. We were just high school classmates. If you like, invite her over for dinner. I can't really say much. But if you think she's more suitable as family than Joan, I suggest you divorce my father and move out to live with Ruby. Evan's dad kept his head down, focused on his soup. His stepmom went pale, unable to utter another word. On the way home, I looked puzzled. It wasn't for Ruby, so why did you go to Europe after we got married? Evan sighed. Work needed me. The overseas market was fiercely competitive. To expand our commercial territory, I had to leave. So that's why you didn't come back for 3 years? Evan smiled gently. Sweetie, do you want to chat about fall stories? Or discuss how you're too shy to meet people? Okay, I admit it, part of the reason you didn't come back was because of me. The next day, Ruby burst into my studio. Joan, you're so underhanded. She almost slapped me if not for the security stopping her. I shrugged. Can't stand a thief being so cocky. Ruby nearly shouted, it's because you're not capable. You're jealous of me. I sneered. Jealous of what? Your plagiarism skills? If you can write an original piece that blows everyone away, I won't mess with you. A few months later, Ruby did write a decently successful book. Looking at the data spikes, Tina murmured, "Gotta admit, your rival's got something." "She does." My cursor hovered at the end of her new chapter. "Just seems a little unlike her." Sure enough, a few days later, an unknown small writer spoke up. "Hey everyone, can you judge this for me?" Ruby plagiarized and altered my work, agreed to give me half the royalties, but now I haven't seen a dime. I'm living off ramen in a rented room. This time, nobody defended Ruby. The internet erupted with criticism. No wonder Joan tore her apart, splicing together hot topics. Of course it worked. A blight on the industry, get lost. Making it impossible for original creators to survive. After the scandal, Ruby quickly deleted her new book and posted an apology. Sorry for the harm caused to the aspiring author, transferred all royalties to her. Someone posted screenshots of her previous statement about not crossing her line on originality, mocking beneath it. "Where's your face? That line dug all the way to the Earth's core, huh?" Ruby's update stopped there. Meanwhile, The Substitute Bride was published. The book's signing was packed. I was so busy I didn't have a chance to grab a drink. Taking a break, I sat in a corner with a small cake, calling Evan while eating, "You should have come with me today. After all, you're the male protagonist." Evan chuckled in his free moment. "Drink slowly, save me half the cake." All right. Halfway through my sentence, everything went dark. Suddenly, someone in a baseball cap was in front of me. "What do you want?" He suddenly lifted a bottle of mineral water, dousing me. "Joan, just die." Cold liquid drenched me. Everyone was stunned by the suddenness. Flashbacks of news and movies whirled in my mind. A terrifying thought occurred. "It's acid." Amid screams, I dove headfirst into the fountain in the central lounge. When Evan arrived at the hospital, his face was grim. I sat in bed, eyes red, a bandage on my hand. "Tina, it hurts, blow on it." Tina was exasperated. "Stop whining, your husband's here." Seeing Evan approaching, I nervously pulled the blanket over my head. "What did the doctor say?" "Fractured arm, just need to treat it conservatively, it's nothing major." "What about what he splashed on her?" "Just water." It was a false alarm. The worst injury was the fracture from the fall. I didn't know the fountain was that shallow. Leaping into it cleared the liquid off my face but wrecked my arm. Unexpectedly, there was already a video online of me diving headfirst into the pool. Tina left, and it was just the two of us in the room. Evan sat beside me, uncovering my face. "What are you hiding for?" "Afraid you'll laugh at me." Evan looked at my wrist. "It may have ended up looking silly, but your decision was right." I think jumping into the fountain was the best option. Seeing him praise me, my eyes lit up. I nuzzled closer. "Come lay down with me." Evan smelled clean, with a unique scent about him. He chuckled, bending down to kiss me. "Rest for a few days, leave the rest to me." A few days later, I was discharged from the hospital. Evan rarely took a day off just for himself, so he was home hanging out with me. I was lounging next to Evan, scrolling through my phone, when I saw some breaking news about Ruby trending. She got arrested for allegedly inciting someone to harm others. What's going on? Evan was peeling an apple for me and told me the person who splashed water on me was an old fan of Ruby's. I saw screenshots of their chat. I really feel for Ruby. Ruby said, "Hey, it's not my fault. When you're successful, you attract envy." She was at a book signing today. Where? Blue Bay Plaza, I think. "Don't worry, I'll get payback for you." Ruby sent a dog emoji with a thank you. Ruby got freaked out and immediately put out a clarification. "I thought it was just talk, I didn't expect her to actually go." I oppose any illegal activities. Hope people will be kind with their words. People went nuts in the comments. "You're not just evil, you're dumb too. Forget whether what the fan did was right, it's gross to shove the blame on others when something goes wrong. You're just stupid." Evan yanked my phone away, said Ruby called you a few times, I didn't answer, and I blocked her for you. It's obvious she wanted me to smooth things over and forgive her. But she used to secretly wish bad things on me, even hoped I'd get hurt. She doesn't deserve forgiveness. A few days later, Ruby deleted her account and vanished from the public eye. Word has it, she got sued by a bunch of other authors. This time, there are over a dozen plaintiffs. The fines might ruin her completely. This year, summer dragged into fall with relentless rain. But at least the story ended well. As autumn settled in, Married by Substitution was still a hit. I finally got the bandage off my hand. Evan took me to Europe for a vacation. Standing in the office he worked at for 3 years, I noticed a mall across the street named after my initials. When did you build this? I asked Evan, leaning against the floor-to-ceiling window. He casually took off his watch, tossed it on the desk, and said, "Started planning before we got married." Before we were married? Way earlier than I expected. Evan walked up behind me, pressed against my back. It was meant to be a surprise for our first anniversary. Didn't expect you'd see it now. He kissed my fingertips softly, pressed them against the window. This mall, it's yours. My ears went red. The white dress I wore was getting all wrinkled. Why'd you do this? Because I love you. Evan nibbled at my earlobe, listening to my breath quicken, becoming bolder. From the first time I saw you, I wanted you to be mine. First time? I thought back to that boring blind date. Didn't seem that special. Maybe he just has unique tastes. The sun dragged into a stunning sunset. Evan didn't say much, letting me moan and plead in bliss. The horizon shattered the clouds of beautiful chaos. Then Evan whispered deeply, "Je crois que je suis amoureux de toi." Those words tugged long-buried memories loose. Back in my sophomore year, I was part of an exchange program, spent 3 months in France. I didn't speak French then but was dragged by friends to this little bar. They pointed to a guy at the bar, "Say this to the bartender, and he'll give you a free drink." I asked, "What's the phrase?" They laughed, "Je crois que je suis amoureux de toi." It means, "I really like this place." I poked Evan sitting at the bar, said it with a grin. Surprise flickered in his eyes as he motioned to the bartender, handing me an orange juice. He whispered something in French, switched to English when I looked puzzled. "Tonight, only orange juice." That quirky encounter left a mark, fostering fondness for him. After classes, I dropped by for an orange juice and waved to Evan with, "I really like this place." But life got busy, and I stopped going. That snippet faded away until forgotten. Fast forward, I picked up a bit of French. So when Evan dropped those words, I was utterly defenseless, completely floored. Couldn't even stand straight. Evan chuckled softly, "Joan, now you know what it means. Je crois que je suis amoureux de toi. Isn't I really like this place, it's I think I love you." I spent a week grinning and confessing to Evan, then vanished without a trace. Until 3 years ago, at that blind date, we met again. That's how this romantic encounter found its continuation.